Welcome once again to our local to global series here on the Random Wrestling Review. And we, of course, are the Random Wrestling Review in this series. And we're now in November of 1998, having started all the way back in September of 1995. So we've had a long game time as it stands. And we're going to continue to keep going because we are nowhere near big enough. We're not even close. We're not even a tiny size promotion at this point in time. This is the current setup. This is currently how things are. We have $20,951 available. We made 2,500 last year, so we're in a very good place financially, regardless of our size at the moment. Got a couple of morale issues, but nothing too much of a big problem. And we've got a number of things we've got to do before we can move on. First, chief among those is setting up our November show, which I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be called. I might go for a suggest name thing here in terms of maybe attitude adjustment. That's not terrible. Uh, Hostility. Very nice. Yeah, not sure what we're going to call this one. Yeah, I've already forgotten the one I quite liked. Attitude adjustment, wasn't it? Um, I think we're just going to go with attitude adjustment. I think given that this would have been at the height of the Attitude Era, a small independent promotion trying to cash in cheaply on the success of WWE would not be out of the world of imagination. So that's what we're going to call it, Attitude Adjustment. In fact, we want this to be, is it Thursday or Friday? It doesn't matter really. Thursday will do. Week 2 in November special. We're not going to make this an annual thing. But yeah, Attitude Adjustment is in the calendar, which will be our next show. We also, though, want to do a couple of things on the market. The first thing we want to do is release Ace Darling. We only wanted to bring him in really for one match to be a jobber, and that's all we want. So he's gone, having served his purpose. Now we're going to look at who we can bring in. We, of course, did sign Pat Patterson in at the end of the last episode as a new road agent. We're desperate for a new road agent because both Bruce and Keith Hart, who have been the road agents for the majority of the time during this show, have not really been good enough. So it was time to let them go. We're not let them go, but time to get in an improvement in that regard. We're going to sign a new jobber. I mean, Billy Kidman, $30 per show. He is an absolute steal, but I don't want to bring him in as a kind of jobber. I think Chris Chetty will do that. Let's bring Chris Chetty in as a jobber for the next show. I want somebody to come in and have one match. In fact, I'm even going to just say one appearance. I'm not worried about that. So Chris Chetty will come in for one appearance. He is nicely going to slot into our card. I've thought about this off air, as always. I don't know if off air is the right way of saying it. So I've got the card together. The other person I want to bring in is a returning wrestler. It's Emo. So you will remember that way back in April of last year. So now, what's that? More than 18 months before before this time, he was released. He was released after losing in the March show when he lost the Loser Leaves Town match against, I believe it was, who did he lose to? Is it Michael Modest? Um, I think so. We're going to bring him back. He is going to come back. I think 18 months is long enough. He served his time in exile. He's worth a bit more now. We have to actually pay a little bit more money now per show, but we can afford it, and I'm not gonna haggle. Emo's coming in, so those are the sort of signings we're making. Pat Patterson, Chris Chetty, and Chemo. Lots of signings really for this one. And when they get in, I'll also have to make sure that we are, that we've got them aligned in the way we want them to be in terms of babyface and heel and all the rest of it. But yeah, some sort of immediate hirings in this episode as we continue to forge on. We're getting close to getting into 1999, and I'm really pleased that we were able to go this far in the series, and I really do hope that I can continue on for many, many, many episodes yet, because I am really enjoying this series. I don't know why. It's just really caught my imagination. So Chris Chetty is in. I think now that we've done that, we will also align him as a baby face. That's right. That's what we want. And he can keep his blue chipper gimmick. No problem at all. Um, so yeah, I mean, as I say, I intend to keep this series going for a very long time yet. As that's the case, if you've been enjoying this and you're not currently subscribed, make sure you do, because there will be plenty to follow along with as we continue. We've just signed Pat Patterson. Again, I'll just check that he is personality and road agent. He works heel. I don't expect him to be an on-screen talent, however, so I'm not too worried about that. And yeah, we've got um, yeah, follow along. Sorry, yeah. What am I saying? Let's first of all deal with this. Chemo has been re-signed to the company. WCW plotting new storyline to pit Team Amazement against Despair Faction. Okay, I don't know who Despair Faction are. I'm reasonably interested, but not enough to go and look at the WCW profile to go and find out. But yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe, and then you'll be able to continue to follow along with the rest of the series. And if you like today's video, give us a like as well. That always helps. Been really, you know, I guess pleased and really, humbled, I guess, by one or two of the comments that I've received about how much people are enjoying the series. It's a small audience that we're playing for during the series, and I think I would do it, to be honest, even if just one person was watching, because as I said, I am really enjoying making the series. So just making the series is kind of gratifying enough, but to also receive comments that are really nice about the series and that other people are enjoying it is, you know, it's great. Tom Pritchard joins WCW, one of the lower profile signings that WCW have made, but they've brought him in anyway. I mean, he was a good wrestler, I think, a pretty decent wrestler anyway, in the 1990s. So, oh, we've got an absent worker. Emo is working for the World Wrestling Federation tonight. I should have looked into that, shouldn't I? Uh, that's a problem, because I was going to have him debut in this show. Um, can I do anything about this? Is there anything I can do about this? Um, I don't think I can postpone the show now. That's the problem. Can I should have. I mean, I just didn't check. I just did not check that it was available on a Thursday. I'm going to just check now in general that chemo is going to be available in the future, because if not, then this might cause a bit of a problem for me. So profile. Where's he gone? Here we go. So he's working a lot. Fridays he's available, so we can use him on Fridays. And I mean that was a mistake entirely of my own making. I didn't check again that chemo would be available for this event. So okay, no problem. He'll just sit on the roster. I think I can get around that anyway. That's not a major issue. So we're going to start this show with a tag team match. It's going to be Johnny Grunge and Kid Chaos against Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan. Forgive me if you hear me coughing. I have another cough. We are deep into the cold and flu season as I record this. And I've not been able to shake it off. I'm not really ill. I'm struggling with the cough. And of course, as I'm talking a lot during these shows, it's doubly a problem for me. So this one's going to be won by Barry Buchanan. Oh, I was going. This is interesting. I actually had a thought about this. I was thinking about having them lose this match, Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan. Um, yes, that's a problem for me as well. The reason I say that, and I actually haven't shown you this yet, is the rankings. So here is the rankings at the moment. We've got four men on 7 points. They are Shawn Stasiak, Dog, Rose, and Barry Buchanan, all sitting as the number one contender potentially to Dave Batista, who is of course the champion. Then in sixth and seventh, we've got Keith Hart and Bruce Hart, both on 5 points, having won all five of their matches so far in ring. I'm aware that this makes it look like I'm really giving them a big push. I'm trying not to. I guess it is consistent with the fact that Bruce Hart owns the company and so therefore would be booking himself favorably. But it was never my intention to do this. It's just the way it's kind of, happened. We then got Johnny Grunge also on 5 points, C.W. Anderson on 4, Charlie Huss, ECMO, and Ace Steel on 3, Buddy Wade on 1, Kid Chaos and One Man Gang on 0. But the reason I wanted, or I was thinking about Barry Buchanan and Ace Steel losing this match, is that they kind of Barry Buchanan's got 7 points, and I kind of don't really want him to be the number one contender coming out of this show, actually. So I think we might have Johnny Grunge and Kid Chaos win this, actually. Let's have Johnny Grunge win it, and we'll have him pin Ace Steel. We're going to make this a storytelling show, storytelling match as well, with a pinfall victory. Before the match, though, we're going to have Johnny Grunge. Actually, after the match, we'll have Johnny Grunge sort of acting, along with Kid Chaos. Grunge and Chaos shake hands after match to show their agreed new team. So Kid Chaos and Johnny Grunge are basically, on the strength of this victory, going to become a tag team. Now, that was not the intention before I started booking the show. It was only when I realized they were putting them up against Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan, I needed them to win, that I decided to then create a tag team out of the pair of them being together. I had a sort of idea about this being a longer search for Johnny Grunge to find a partner, and now, just out of necessity, because I need Steele and Buchanan to lose, that's not now going to be the case. I've already set up the fact that Grunge was looking for a tag team partner, so this kind of just gives him a tag team partner. So that's just the way that's gone. Buddy Wayne versus C.W. Anderson is the next match. I think they have fought each other twice before. The last one coming in January of this year, so not a problem for them to fight again. I'm going to go 9 minutes with this one, and Buddy Wayne's going to win. Of course, Buddy Wayne not long ago lost a title match, so he's towards the end. He's towards the bottom of the rankings at the moment. And then we've got 2 more singles matches to book here. We've got One Man Gang versus Chris Chetty. So this is where we're using Chetty. He's just going to be used to job out to One Man Gang. I'm only going to make this 5 minutes. I'm going to have One Man Gang dominate as well. So One Man Gang to dominate, it's not going to be open. He's going to get the pinfall, and that's going to be the next match. One Man Gang getting his first victory in his first singles contest. Of course, he was part of a 6-man tag team that lost in the last show, but actually, I feel like we kind of protected him via the way we did that. Now, there's one more thing I've forgotten, which is we are changing James Storm's gimmick. So he is going to become the Shadow, and I feel like I need to change his picture as well here. I don't know if there's like anything, kind of mask thing I can use. Quite like this one, because you could imagine it's him. So even though the masked superstar is obviously another person, I'm going to use this picture for him. I'm going to pretend it's James Storm under a mask. Yeah, so this is... Oh, yeah, create a new mask. And save. I don't really know what alter ego means, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, okay. So the shadow is here. The shadow is here. Now this is James Storm's new gimmick. The idea being that, and I don't know how realistic it is that you could get away with a wrestler appearing under a mask and it not being obvious that he is in fact somebody you've seen before. So I don't really know if this is realistic, but all the same, I think the idea is here that the crowd are not going to know that this is James Storm for the time being. He's going to come in here, have his debut in the company, effectively, and he's going to get the victory. We're going to give it a tainted win as well. and that's going to be that one. And then after the match, C.W. Anderson is going to come out and offer Charlie Haas the chance to become a tag team going forward. Haas accept. It'll have to be a long angle, this one. But effectively, C.W. Anderson's going to lose in this night. Then Charlie Haas will lose. And afterwards, C.W. Anderson comes out and talks to him and offers him the chance to become partners. We'll go into more detail during the show. Then we're going to have two title matches, the first of which is a tag team title match. It is going to see Dog and Rose, the current tag team champions and joint number one contenders, up against Keith Hart and Bruce Hart for those belts. So we're going to see this one is going to go, or I'm going to keep this reasonably short because I don't think these guys have really got what it takes to go any longer than that. We're going to have the winner be Dog because the Hearts are going to lose for the first time in this one. And it's going to be an outside interference finish because in this one, Bruce Hart is going to be, or it's going to be attacked by ECMO, and ECMO is going to help Bad Crew win because he's, of course, continually in the feud with Bad Crew. And so that's how that match is going to go. So then I've got to determine what I'm going to do now because I've got an idea for what. Well, first of all, the match. I know what the main event is going to be. It is going to see Dave Batista against Shawn Stasiak. So Stasiak was one of those guys with 7 wins, which means we are able to give them the main event. I'm quite looking forward to this match as well. I think given what we've seen from both in the past, this has a potential to be really quite good. Batista's going to win and defend successfully that title. Just going to check the booking analysis to make sure there's nothing wrong. There isn't. But I want to do something else here. So what's going to happen before the match is that Dog and Rose, who have just defended the tag team titles, but more importantly are now both on 8 wins each. And they basically stand at ringside after their victory and wait for the 2 men to come to the ring to have their match with one another. And then what we'll do from there is have see, I've been thinking this through a bit, but I haven't been able to come up with a resolution to it. So we're going to have the Bad Crew come out and say they're going to say the Bad Crew are going to face whoever wins, and Stasiak tells them to go away, basically, and they argue with him, and that's going to happen before the match, and then after the match, when Stasiak's lost, he's going to be attacked by Dog and Rose until Dave Batista returns to the ring and just gets rid of them. So Bad Crew attack Stasiak, Batista saves, then says he'll face both Bad Crew next month. So this is what we're going to do. I will explain this sort of whole thing when we do the actual show. But that is going to be RWR Attitude Adjustment. Big main event, Dave Batista versus Shawn Stasiak. Also, the tag team title on the line is Bad Crew take on the Hart Brothers. Now, I do want to add the storyline now, which is Batista and Stasiak versus Bad Crew. And this is, I guess, the point where we're going to have Batista turn babyface. So let's just put that in as well. I had been going back and forth on whether to do this or not, but I just don't see any way round at the moment giving Bad Crew a title match with Batista, and I don't want them to both be heel opponents in that match. So this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to set up something big, therefore, for the Christmas show, as Batista will have 2 title defenses in one night. Let's play out the show and see how this one goes, and we'll, yeah, hopefully it will make more sense as we go through the show. So off we go. And in front of 92 people. So I think that is a new record for the Random Wrestling Revue. And in a good bout, that good heat and decent wrestling, Johnny Grunge and Kid Chaos defeated Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan in 8 minutes 11 when Johnny Grunge pinned Ace Steel with a table bomb. Kid Chaos, of course, the weak link as usual. I was talking about, letting him go after this show or even after the last show. That's not happening now because we've got him into this tag team with Johnny Grunge. So maybe that will do something else. I don't know. A segment rating anyway of 30 here. Only Buchanan was at that level in ring. Ace Steel was a 28 and off his game. Kid Chaos was also off his game. Johnny Grunge 29 though. And thankfully, Johnny Grunge and Kid Chaos showed excellent chemistry teaming together. I wonder if they've worked together before. And this is not me just getting lucky, but whatever the case, they are the winners of this match. And so after the match, Johnny Grunge and Kid Chaos are talking to one another and they shake hands, basically signaling their intent to continue to be a tag team on a more regular basis. Johnny Grunge, of course, had been previous to this looking for a tag team partner. Then we have Buddy Wayne versus C.W. Anderson. Buddy Wayne winning in 8:55 by pinfall. He got a 27 in-ring performance. C.W. Anderson a 25. This got a segment rating of 29, though. A good win for Buddy Wayne as he tries to come back once again, having lost his last attempt at the title. Then we have One Man Gang making his in-ring debut for the company in singles action anyway. He wins with a 747 splash in 5 minutes and 1 second, dominating the match. You can see here Chris Chetti had an in-ring performance of 17, One Man Gang a 39. However, the segment rating was still only 18, possibly because of the length of match and the fact that Chetti really did not perform here. Not a big deal though. This was always meant to just be a regulation, easy victory for One Man Gang as we sort of start to build him as the big monster heel in the company. Then The Shadow makes his debut for the Random Wrestling Revue, beats Charlie Haas in 24 minutes after using a foreign object that he had hidden in his mask. I think that's a well-worn trope at the moment being used by WWE with our El Grande Americano gimmick. But obviously that's a very old school thing that used to happen a long time ago. The Shadow gets the victory here. As I said, the crowd are not. I don't know how realistic it is, but they are not going to be aware that this is the same person. But a good match here, 32 rated contest. Then we've got after this match, C.W. Anderson comes out and talks to the man who lost the match, Charlie Haas, and says to him that that neither of them are having particularly good luck in the singles ranks at this point, and how about they get together as a tag team, given the way they performed the previous month against Bad Crew when they were drawn at random alongside one another. And Charlie Haas accepts by shaking C.W. Anderson's hand. And we have a new tag team in the Random Wrestling Revue. It is C.W. Anderson and Charlie Haas. We're going to have to sort out that really I was meant to turn C.W. Anderson babyface in this moment. We haven't done that. And maybe we'll determine which way this team are going to go in the future. Maybe that's their sort of their ongoing narrative as we go forward. Segment rating of 59, not 50, not a great segment rating, but nevertheless, it did what it was meant to do here. Then we have the match for the tag team titles as Bad Crew takes on the Hart Brothers. This one goes for 8 minutes, 21 seconds, and then ends when Dog pins Bruce following interference from ECMO. So the Hart Brothers getting their tag team title shot here, obviously as a consequence of the tournament victory they had back in August. But they lose to the Bad Crew here, and they make defense number 3 of their tag team titles. This was easily the best performance we've seen from Dog and Rose. They're they're obviously going up in terms of popularity because of the number of victories they've had as of late. So at least that's a positive to this tag team title reign that we weren't expecting. And Bruce and Keith Hart weren't bad here either. Segment rating of 27. Keith Hart was off his game. Bruce Hart is getting better at his gimmick, and ECMO is the man who's cost the Harts brothers the tag team title as their feud continues as well. Then after the match, Dog and Rose stick around at ringside as Shawn Stasiak and Dave Batista come out for the main event. Bad Crew get in the face of both Stasiak and Batista and tell them that they are going to become one of them is going to become the new champion. Whoever wins the main event, they say that whoever wins will have to choose between the two of them as the new number one contender. Stasiak grabs the microphone and tells them to get out of here as he prepares for his match to try and win the belt. Segment rating of 22. Dog struggled when going off script, and Rose was terrible. So they continue to be pretty poor in their roles in terms of, at least in terms of on the mic. Then that main event, and it is a good match. I did anticipate this being a good one. 11 minutes, 49 seconds. Dave Batista wins by pinfall over Shawn Stasiak. Batista makes defense number 6 of the RWR North West title. Second rating of 35. Dave Batista, only a 28, but still good enough for him and Stasiak, who got a 33 to hit that high rating. It's one of the best matches we've had in company history. I'd say a top 3, possibly, certainly a top 5 match in the company's history, and a victory for Batista, who retains his belt. Then after the match, the final angle of the night, the Bad Crew return to the ring. They mock Shawn Stasiak and start to attack him, at which point Dave Batista, who had left the ring with the belt, returns to the ring, sees off the Bad Crew, and then grabs a microphone. And he tells them that next month, not only will he face one of them, but he will face both of them in one evening, and he will show them who the true champion is in the Random Wrestling Review. So the Northwest champion will face both Northwest tag team champions on next month's show. This is where we will turn Batista babyface, and it was a complete success. A segment rating of 30, and Batista is now on the babyface style side of the aisle, and will face both Dog and Rose in matches at the Christmas show. And that is the end of the night. An overall rating of 32, a very good rating indeed. Batista's match with Shawn Stasiak is the highlight, but also the Shadow versus Charlie Haas was very good. The opening tag team match was good. Bad Crew had one of their best performances, if not their best performance on the night, which is the perfect time for them to have it, given that they're both going to get title matches on the next show. Haven't entirely figured out how that's going to work and how the rest of the card is going to go. In terms of um, calling people out and giving them some praise, Shawn Stasiak can be pointed out as a good example because One Man Gang also complimented on a good performance. Yeah, Shawn Stasiak pointed out as a good example because he lost, but was also the best performer other than One Man Gang on the show. And I think we will also praise the Shadow for his return. And he's had to lose a lot to get this new storyline opportunity. So, yeah, well done to him. And that's the show. That is November's RWR Attitude Adjustment. Some news: Chetty gone from RWR. That's fine. Charlie Haas, and well, that's a booking plate from last time around. So that's what's happened. Obviously, Chris Chetty's already gone. We have to make sure that we schedule the next show to be on a Friday so that we can actually use chemo. And certainly, that's my intention at the next show, is to see those ECMO and chemo up against the Hart brothers in a tag team matchup. We've also got the Dave Batista versus both members of Bad Crew in one-on-one matches, and I'm sure plenty of other stuff to come on that show. Apologies once again for the coughing on this one. I've really struggled through it, I've got to be honest, as I just did again, so apologies if you heard that. I will be back again in a couple of days' time for the Thursday episode this week. Thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you then.